The WNBA Finals will debut. The Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. And I'm telling you right now, this is probably going to be one of the lowest rated WNBA Finals in a mighty long time.
A'ja Wilson just lost it after the WNBA Finals, and fans say she's blaming Caitlin Clark for the entire disaster. What was supposed to be Wilson's big championship moment turned into chaos. Low ticket sales, angry fans, and an emotional meltdown that shocked everyone watching. But the real twist came when her post-game comments hinted at deeper frustration, not just with the loss, but with how the league now revolves around Clark. Did A'ja Wilson finally snap under pressure, or is this proof of a growing divide inside the WNBA?
And it looked like the WNBA has become the laughingstock of all sports, man, because the ticket prices are horrendous. This is a championship game, dog.
Before the meltdown, A'ja Wilson was on top of the basketball world. The Las Vegas Aces had built a reputation as the modern dynasty, strong, confident, and unstoppable. And at the center of it all was Wilson, the league's two-time MVP, face of the franchise, and vocal leader of the WNBA's veteran era. Every move she made carried weight. Every word she said made headlines. But heading into the 2025 finals, the pressure was different. The spotlight wasn't just on her anymore, it was split. Caitlin Clark had entered the league, and instantly, everything changed. The media's attention, the sponsorship deals, even the fan base, all orbiting around the new face of women's basketball. For Wilson, who had spent years building her legacy the hard way, this wasn't just competition, it felt personal. She'd fought through injuries, locker room drama, and media narratives that often overlooked her dominance. Now, after another grueling season, she was expected to carry the Aces again, silence the critics, and prove that her era wasn't over yet.
You mean to tell me Caitlin Clark's signature Nike t-shirt costs more than these damn WNBA final tickets? And I'm here to tell you, oh yeah, they do. I mean, four-time WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson can't even get tickets up to $50? Bruh, this is bad. I mean, this is beyond bad. This just tells you the state of this damn league.
The finals weren't just another series, they were a statement. A chance for Wilson to show that experience and heart still beat hype and headlines. But as the series unfolded, the pressure started to crack through. And when the losses piled up, that built-up tension didn't just stay on the court, it exploded for the world to see. What was supposed to be a celebration of elite basketball quickly turned into a nightmare. The WNBA Finals drew headlines for all the wrong reasons. Half-empty arenas, cheap tickets, selling for just a few dollars, and an atmosphere that felt more like preseason than championship stage. Fans online started calling it the quietest finals in years, and critics pointed fingers at the league's leadership for failing to market its biggest event.
Not to mention, we got none other than Dewana Bonner, former Indiana Fever, quit the team herself in the talk and conversation of this WNBA Finals, and more importantly, her significant other, Alyssa Thomas, has found herself in some hot water as well, with not really speaking about the current state of the W.
But when frustration builds, someone always takes the blame, and this time, it landed right on A'ja Wilson's shoulders. On the court, her energy was off. Missed shots, visible frustration, and tense exchanges with teammates told the story long before the final buzzer. For someone known for confidence and composure, her body language screamed something deeper: exhaustion, resentment, maybe both. Cameras caught her muttering under her breath, shaking her head after missed plays, and storming off the court without the usual grace. By the time the series ended, Wilson looked more defeated mentally than physically, and then came the post-game moment that lit social media on fire. Reporters asked about the finals turnout, the lack of fan energy, and what the league could have done better. Wilson didn't hold back. She called out unequal attention, hinted that the league only promotes certain players, and questioned why some stars are constantly in the spotlight while others carry the weight in silence. Fans instantly connected the dots she was talking about Caitlin Clark. Within hours, clips of her interview went viral, and the meltdown narrative began. But as bad as that looked, what came next pushed the story into full controversy mode. Just when the finals fallout couldn't get any worse, another spark hit the fire, and this time it came from inside the league itself. Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa Collier went public with shocking claims about WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, accusing her of making dismissive remarks toward players who voiced concerns about how the league was being run. According to Collier, Engelbert allegedly downplayed veteran contributions and focused too much on the league's new faces. Everyone knew who that meant: Caitlin Clark. The moment the interview hit social media, chaos followed. Fans flooded timelines, players reacted, and headlines painted the picture of a league divided. Within hours, Aja Wilson jumped into the conversation, backing Collier and saying she was disgusted by what she heard. She didn't mention Clark by name, but the timing couldn't have been worse, coming right after her finals frustration. To many, it looked like Wilson was piling on, indirectly blaming Clark for becoming the league's golden child. Behind the scenes, rumors started flying that Wilson felt betrayed by leadership, that she and other veterans were being pushed aside for the sake of one player's marketing value. Reporters said she'd been voicing that frustration for weeks, and after the finals loss, it all spilled over. Fans split instantly. Some defending her as a leader, finally speaking truth to power, others accusing her of jealousy and bitterness. But whether she meant to or not, Wilson's reaction made her the face of a growing revolt, one that wasn't just about Caitlin Clark, but about the entire future of the WNBA. And the backlash she faced next made it clear that this storm wasn't calming anytime soon. At first, Aja Wilson's comments seemed like raw emotion, a frustrated star venting after a brutal loss. But within hours, the internet turned it into something much bigger. Hashtags started trending: number Ajaves Clark, number Blame Game, number WNBA Chaos. Clips from her interview were edited, re-uploaded, and dissected like political debates. Every word, every facial expression, every sigh, fans read into all of it. Some claimed she was directly blaming Caitlin Clark for the finals disaster, while others said the media twisted her words to fuel a rivalry that the league secretly benefits from. But context matters. Wilson never said Clark's name. What she did say, though, hinted at something deeper: that certain players get the spotlight even when the entire league carries the load. "We put in the work," she said, "but not everyone gets the same love." For a lot of fans, that was a clear reference to the attention gap between longtime stars like Wilson and the hype surrounding Clark since she joined the league. Still, perception is everything. Sports fans thrive on drama, and Wilson's timing couldn't have been worse. With emotions high after the finals, her comments looked less like leadership and more like deflection. Instead of talking about what went wrong on the court, everyone was suddenly talking about the supposed Aja versus Caitlin feud. Media outlets ran with the narrative. Talk shows debated whether Wilson was jealous or just telling the truth. And through all of it, Clark stayed silent, which only made the story burn hotter. By the time the dust settled, it didn't matter what Wilson meant. The narrative was already locked in. She melted down and blamed the league's new superstar. But this wasn't just a PR issue, it exposed a deeper fracture that had been building inside the WNBA all season long. The reaction to Aja Wilson's comments was instant and brutal. Social media exploded with takes, memes, and heated arguments. Some fans defended her, saying she had every right to call out the imbalance that's been simmering beneath the surface of women's basketball. They pointed out that Wilson, a proven MVP and champion, has carried the league for years without the same media obsession that Caitlin Clark receives. To them, she wasn't angry, she was honest, but others saw it differently. They accused Wilson of being petty, of trying to drag down the one player who has single-handedly boosted WNBA ratings, ticket sales, and global attention. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Clark's supporters saying Wilson couldn't handle the pressure. Wilson's fans saying Clark hadn't earned her spot at the top yet. Every take only fueled more division. Inside the league, things got even messier. Reports began surfacing of locker room tension and quiet frustration from other veterans who agreed with Wilson but were too afraid to say it publicly. At the same time, marketing executives and team owners were reportedly frustrated that this drama was overshadowing the finals entirely. Endorsement brands, caught in the middle, stayed silent, but insiders said they were watching closely, wary of associating with what was quickly becoming one of the most polarizing storylines in women's sports. Even former players chimed in. Some backed Wilson, saying the league was losing sight of its foundation, while others argued that the veterans should embrace the spotlight Clark brings rather than resent it. Every podcast, every sports segment, every headline had the same question. Did A'ja Wilson just expose a truth everyone else was too afraid to say, or did she cross a line she can't walk back? And just when it seemed like the storm might fade, something unexpected happened. Wilson doubled down. Instead of walking back her words, A'ja Wilson made it clear she wasn't backing down. In a follow-up interview, she didn't mention Caitlin Clark directly, but she doubled down on her message the WNBA. She said, needs to start respecting all its players, not just the ones the media decides to crown. It was a bold statement, and it hit a nerve. Because behind the highlight reels and press releases, the league is fighting a quiet war: veterans versus rookies, legacy versus popularity, respect versus attention. For years, Wilson and players like her have been the foundation of the WNBA. They've built the league through hard seasons, low pay, and minimal coverage. But when Clark arrived, everything shifted overnight. Suddenly, sponsorships skyrocketed, media outlets flooded games, and viewership hit record highs. The problem? Most of that spotlight didn't shine on the players who built the stage. It focused almost entirely on one name. To some, that's just business. To others, it's betrayal. Wilson's frustration wasn't just personal, it symbolized the struggle of an entire generation of athletes feeling replaced by marketing trends and media bias. And it's not just the players feeling the tension. Coaches, reporters, and even fans have picked sides. One group says Clark is saving the league, the other says she's overshadowing it. And right now, A'ja Wilson stands right in the center of that divide. But here's where things get deeper. The WNBA isn't just dealing with a PR issue, it's standing at a crossroads. The upcoming collective bargaining talks are looming, and players are demanding better pay, stronger media representation, and fairer treatment. Wilson's meltdown may have started as emotion, but it's become something far bigger, a symbol of everything boiling beneath the surface. The question now isn't whether she was right or wrong, but whether the WNBA can survive this level of division before it breaks completely. When the dust finally started to settle, two things were clear. A'ja Wilson's reputation had taken a hit, and Caitlin Clark's silence had only made her influence grow stronger. While Wilson defended her comments as honest conversation, many saw her as the face of bitterness in a league struggling to unite. Yet behind all the noise, there was something undeniably human about her reaction. The pressure, the expectations, the feeling of being overlooked after years of dominance. For a player who had given everything to the game, watching the spotlight shift so suddenly must have felt like betrayal. Meanwhile, Clark never fired back. She stayed focused, calm, and composed, letting her performance and rising popularity do the talking. That restraint only fueled more speculation. Some fans praised her maturity, others accused her of playing the victim to protect her image. But either way, it worked. Every time Clark stayed silent, the narrative leaned further in her favor. For Wilson, though, the damage was done. Sponsors reportedly paused discussions, media outlets picked apart her interviews, and analysts began questioning whether she could handle the mental side of being the league's leader. Yet, through it all, she kept showing up, still producing, still competing, still fighting. Because for A'ja Wilson, this wasn't just about Caitlin Clark. It was about respect, about reclaiming a legacy she feels the league helped build but refuses to fully honor. And deep down, that's what made the moment sting, not jealousy, but fear. Fear that the game she helped grow is moving on without her. Fear that the world only remembers the new face, not the one who laid the foundation. Whether fair or not, the narrative was set. Wilson had become the symbol of resistance, and Clark, the silent star shaping the league's next era. A'ja Wilson's meltdown wasn't just about losing a game, it exposed a league at war with itself. On one side are the veterans who built the WNBA brick by brick, and on the other, a new generation led by Caitlin Clark, changing how the world sees women's basketball. Both sides matter, but they're clashing in real time, and the finals made that impossible to ignore.